Hey, hey, what's up, everybody? I want to make sure, because I have my Periscope up as well. I want to make sure you can see me okay, and I'm sure you guys can hear me. I want to say happy Monday evening to everybody. I hope you enjoy your weekend. Welcome to the Lady Ball Show. We are in the middle. Let me make sure. Okay, good. I see myself. Because I don't want to be like, we can't see you, we can't hear you. So if you can hear me, okay, let me know. Okay, if there's any issues, let me know. So some of the folks on Periscope and Facebook has been so nice and so kind to tell me like we can't hear you, we can't see you. So I like that. I appreciate that for those who are doing for those who have come in and do that. Well, the Lady Ball Show, we're in the middle of our lifestyle discussions, lifestyle topic. The three pillars, the foundation of the Lady Ball Show is we like to talk about anything pertaining to lifestyle, entertainment, and business. And so, as we continue our lifestyle discussions, tonight I have with me a young lady, a young woman who is using her story, her personal story, and she's flipping it now. She's not like having a pity party. She's flipping it and she's turning around and she's empowering other women, other people, to be great, to be best at, whatever thing you went through or whatever you experienced in life, especially in your younger days, in your childhood, you can overcome, you can make it. So our topic is overcoming childhood trauma. Anything that you may have experienced or someone may have experienced it, you may want to share this out and have them come in on the conversation, on discussion, and feel free, you can leave some comments as well, because I love to engage with my viewers. So I'm going to be chatting with a life coach, Teresa Strong Maverick. Let me bring I'm about to say my coach. Let me bring my guest in. I met her through a social media group called the Perry Girls, which I have connected and met with a lot of great women. I really have. And the Perry Girls group kind of introduced me to a lot of stuff, especially something like this, live streaming. So let me bring Teresa in. Hi,
Hello.
Teresa.
Hey, how are you?
I am good, and welcome to the Lady Ball Show, Teresa. We're going to start off by you tell us just a little bit about yourself.
Hey, it's been said, I'm Teresa Strongmark. I am a former police officer, victim advocate, child and family counselor, as well as a survivor of well, I grew up in a home where there was domestic violence. I was sexually molested for a good little while I was young. And
Mhm.
I'm also the child of a murdered father. So
Oh,
from
wow.
that, I have seen hurt on many different levels. I
Yeah.
see that I learned that people hurt people. They allow
Mm-hmm.
themselves to be hurt, and they will hurt
Mm-hmm.
themselves if they don't learn to resolve that inner stuff that comes from past, things that may have happened in their past. So
Mm-hmm.
that's my thing now. I've been able to get through that, and I help others now as a neurotransformational coach. I help them to get through that and to shift,
Right.
have an internal shift as to how they hold on to that past trauma.
Well, that is good. That is good. And I want to, hi, empowering Nana. Thank you for coming in
Yeah,
on
hey
the
guys.
Periscope platform. Thank you for supporting. I did not know that you said you're the daughter of a father that was murdered.
Yes.
I
Yes.
did not know that. I just learned that. I knew about the other part, but I didn't know about that part. So yeah, you know quite a bit about hurt and pain. But I brought Teresa here because she's a testimony, because Teresa is not walking around with bitterness and anger. I don't see that. And that is the whole point of our discussion, is to overcome. And she's a life coach. So we're going to kind of walk through a little bit and get into our discussion, Teresa. I did want to ask you, why did you decide to become a life coach? You used to be a police officer. So what happened to, that period that caused you to say, you know what, I want to leave this alone and I want to turn this way?
So what happened with me was I always knew that I wanted to help people. That was never a doubt in my mind. I wanted to help. However, I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know how I wanted to do that. So I tried on different things. I wasn't one of those kids who always knew what they wanted to do. Actually, it took me a while to even figure out who I was. But in the process of doing that, if I saw a job title that I was like, "Oh, I can do that. That sounds interesting." I would try it out. I would do it. But what I found was that I wanted to help people on a deeper level,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I had restrictions as a police officer as to how much I could help. As a victim advocate, I had restrictions. I was bound by the agencies that I worked for. And,
Mm-hmm.
they were good in terms of giving people services, but I always knew like if we don't get deep down to see why they're doing what they're doing, they'll be right back in this cycle again. And I really wanted to get down and help them to overcome that part so that
Mm-hmm.
a victim of domestic violence doesn't get out of a relationship and continue to have the same relationship over and over again, right? Or get out of a bad situation but continue to beat up on yourself so you still don't
Right.
see your full potential. So that's the kind of stuff that motivated me. And I didn't know what life coaching was until maybe like
Mm-hmm.
4 years ago. And I ran into this gentleman, and he started talking, and he was speaking my language. I was like, yes, that's good stuff, right? I was
He
like,
will,
yes, what is
explain.
that, right? What do you do? And
Mm-hmm.
that's when I learned what life coach. I'm like, I've been doing this all my life. This is the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
that's my passion. That's what it is. That's the label for the things that I was doing and what I wanted to do.
I like that. I like you just said that's your passion.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
it's not something that just popped up. You said I've been doing this. So
Right.
I like how you transform yourself and you said I'm gonna turn this into a full blown career. So I love that. I love when people I finally get to what their passion is. And that right there will motivate you in such a way, ladies and gentlemen. So Teresa, when it comes to childhood trauma, can you elaborate a little bit more on exactly what it is, as far as like other than just it's more than just child abuse.
For me, when I think about trauma, past traumas, and not necessarily childhood traumas, but past traumas, and
Mm-hmm.
for me, that is anything that has happened to you that you felt they feel that was done unfairly to you, that
Uh-huh.
you just can't shake, you just can't get
Mm-hmm.
over, you just keep holding on to that thing, and it keeps. And every time you think you buried it, it pops back up.
Uh-huh.
It is just something just negative that has happened to you that has caused you to see things differently, to feel things differently because of that situation,
Mm.
if that
Mm.
makes sense.
Yeah, it does because there's a lot of people who are grown up that there's things that happen to us in our adulthood. I know we're talking about childhood, but in our adult lives, it could be 2 or 3 years ago, and some people can't shake it. They walk around with anger. So even you're a life coach. You can assist those who are adults, correct?
Right, exactly. Because I want to elaborate on that just a little more
Mm-hmm.
because I want to give people specific things. So
Mm-hmm.
you can be traumatized by how someone treated you.
Mm-hmm.
It could be one time or it could be multiple times over and over again. You can be traumatized by illness. You can be traumatized by losing someone, watching someone get victimized. You can be traumatized by a lot of different things that you may not even know is affecting you, but it can be. I'm going to tell you this little story just to give further elaboration on that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Um, when I was younger, part of my story is my stepfather, who
Mm.
he, I can say a lot of things about him, but we're going to keep it nice.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
never spoke to me. He never had spoke to me directly. He was with my mom for 10 years. They had I
Mm.
had my brother together, but he never spoke to me directly. So the one time he actually said something in my direction, it was tell that girl to run my bath water, right?
Oh wow.
So I grew up and I internalized that as in my voice wasn't important. I wasn't
Mm-hmm.
important.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I came. And I came to resent people not talking directly to me. So fast
Mm,
forward to college. I had this college roommate. We didn't get along all too swell. We didn't do a lot of talking,
mm.
but she left me a post-it note telling me not to touch her humidifier. Girl, that thing set me off. It set me off something terrible. I had to call my mama to calm me down
Yeah,
because that triggered that, oh, you're not worthy, you're not good enough.
you
I'm like, how
remembered.
dare she? Huh?
Right. You remembered.
I
You.
remembered. I didn't
Hmm.
remember then, but after a while,
Hmm.
I'm like, why am I so mad about this? It's a post-it note. But later
Right.
on, I figured that out. That's why I was so triggered by that, because that brought up those old feelings of someone not talking to me directly and all
Hmm.
the stuff I came to believe about myself because of that. So that's the
Mm.
kind of thing that can come up in your now, that past stuff that can pop up in your now. You're like, why am I so sensitive around this?
It's an underlying issue. That's
Right.
why it's something else, and it's just pouting,
hmm
upon one another. So that's why we ought to just thank God for coaches, especially those coaches, psychologists, those who are willing to mentor, because we need, even from childhood to even grown folks, we need somebody that can help talk and help break. And so, this is all part of lifestyle, and it can affect us. So I mean, after you left college, Teresa, was that still bedded down in your life as far as why you were so angry?
So college, and I never really considered myself angry.
Okay.
I never really considered myself angry. I um I felt a lot of shame.
Hmm.
I blamed myself for a lot of things, but more importantly, shame. I was shamed at what had happened to me because I felt like I allowed it to happen. A lot of kids, a lot of people just internalize the things that happen to them, and we punish ourselves for the bad behaviors of others.
Hmm.
Right. So I didn't feel that, but college was when it all came out for me. That's when it all came out because
I
I
see.
decided in college that I wanted to be a social worker. Part of being a social worker is that you have to do a psycho, I forget the whole name of it, but you have to do your life story.
Mm.
So as I began to write and admit and face all the stuff that I had been burying for so long,
Hmm.
because the other part of my story is that I was the good girl. I was on honor roll.
Hmm.
I was president of my senior class, never had any trouble with me academically, behavior, none of that stuff. All of that was going on. So when I got to college and had to really, really face my reality, my real life, that
Hmm.
thing broke me down. That's what put me into counseling the first time. And my
Wow.
20s was spent with me just learning who I was without
Hmm.
all that stuff.
Right. It's like you being rebirthed.
Yeah, really, really.
But all that's a process, and all that is refreshing. And I'm glad that you even went through it, because now you can turn around and help somebody else. So that is cool.
Yeah, because the person who helped me the most was the first person who said to me when I went to him after that college paper, and I done boohoo cried and all that. And my professor said, "Honey, you got to take care of that stuff before you can help anybody else." I got into that
Mm.
room with him, and I wish I could remember his name and who he was, but he
Mm.
said just these, and this is in my book too. He said these words to me after I spilled out everything. He said, "You deserve to be free."
Ah.
Oh my gosh, I didn't realize I was in bondage until he said those words. Him saying that I deserve
Mhm.
something,
Mhm.
anything, right? To be
Mhm.
free. Oh my gosh, that thing broke me down. Have never forgotten that.
Yeah.
And that was like 20, oh, not 20, about 30 years ago, girl.
Yeah. I know what you feel, when it's like when it's something that hits the core. When
Yes.
it hits that core, it's like a glass. You hear it shattering all around you. That's what I truly believe. That's what a lot of grown folks and children, family. That's what a lot of us need. That's why you shouldn't be ashamed to talk. and have those discussions. And sometimes you got to listen and take what you don't want to hear, because if you don't want to hear it, how you gonna heal? How is it
Oh,
gonna heal?
absolutely. You cannot heal what you will not face.
I like that too. That's good.
You cannot
I
heal what
like
you
that.
will not face, honey. It will stay there. And if it doesn't, and it's a weird little thing that if you don't deal with it, somehow it continues to go on throughout the family.
Yes. See, now you preaching.
I'm telling you, because no one talks about it, so no one knows that it's okay to talk about it. No one
Mhm.
knows that there's someone who can relate to me in the family.
Yeah.
So they continue to hold on and bury and play nice like everything's good. And everybody in the family's hurting. No.
Yeah. And then, or they kind of push it under the rug, and then they just keep passed down.
Right. And,
Yeah.
and they keep passing down that same hurt. Everyone is hurting, but they're smiling. Smiling and hurting.
You
Shh.
hitting home. You hitting home. You
Right,
hitting
right.
home. So, like, in your opinion, Teresa, do you think childhood, any trauma, or you said anything that has traumatized a person, do you think that can eventually lead them to mental illness by chance? Like, can it break them down by from your knowledge and experience?
I believe it can. Now, I'm not a mental health specialist or anything of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
However, what I know is unresolved hurt
Mm-hmm.
becomes something that we're trying to, if we don't talk about it and let it out, we will
Mm-hmm.
try to self medicate that hurt.
Oh.
Right? We will try to
Mm-hmm.
self medicate it because we can't let it out, but we still have those feelings. So I think it leads to us. Not. I think. I know. I know that it leads to people overindulging. I know
Yeah.
that it can have people, doubting themselves. I know that it can have people hurting themselves
Mm-hmm.
mentally, physically, and emotionally. I know
Mm-hmm.
that. So whether we want to categorize those things as mental illness, that's not for me to say. But I know it can lead to depression and you not feeling good about yourself and feeling worthy enough to even be in the world. So I know that it leads to that.
Right. Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. So let's say you have a new client, and they're coming in. I mean, they're brand new, so, because you never know who may watch this or watch the replay, that may want to contact um, Teresa. I'm sure she don't mind, because this is her profession. Okay, this is what
Mhm.
she do. Let's say they want to contact you and say, I need assistance. I went through XYZ. What is
Mhm.
your care? Which I don't know if you call it a treatment or a care plan. Like a
Well,
suggestion.
it's a process. It
Okay.
is absolutely a process. So I don't call it management or anything. So what is unique about me, and I want to make sure we understand this. What is
Hmm.
unique about me in what I do is that each person has an individual plan for their success or whatever they want to accomplish. So
Hmm.
I talk to people first free of charge so we can understand what you're looking for and if I'm the person to deliver that, because everyone is not a good fit. So we
Hmm.
do that first. In terms of the process, I am trained in transformational results coaching, which
Hmm.
means that we have different skills and processes that we use to change how people are internalizing and holding on to their past stuff. So I don't focus on your outward behavior until we discover, understand, and work
Hmm.
on what is causing that outer behavior. So we go inward and then work towards, we go in and then come out. That's what we do.
Yes. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so it's not a one plan fixes all. So I don't
Hmm.
do that. That's not what we do as transformational coaches. Everyone's situation is individual and
Hmm.
everyone's plan is individual. And I act as a guide because what I also believe is that you already have what you need. You just don't recognize it yet. And what I do is help you guide you to your own solution because
Yeah,
Girl,
you making me think. I already have what I need.
you
That's
already have it.
mm-hmm,
Hmm. You absolutely already have it. You already, it's already in you. What I do is help you guide you to your answers. Because if you've gone through some things, gone through some trauma, you may not even trust your solutions. You may
mm-hmm,
not see your whole picture. You have grown up with some sort of limitations on how far you can go and what you can do. When I come in, I don't know those limitations. So
mm-hmm,
I will
mm-hmm.
pull you to something more than what you see for yourself, just naturally, because I don't know the limitation that you came up with. That's your stuff. So when
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you to do something, you may not think you're able to, but we'll work to understand that you are just as capable. If it's in your mind to do it, then you are capable to make it happen. You
That
just
is
don't
good.
understand it and know it yet. And
Yeah, that's
that's the
good.
good stuff right there. Once you
Yeah.
get some,
And I see how your face just lights up. You love that. You love they come in just as like the Debbie Downer, and as you work with them, isn't it a light come in their face? Like,
yeah, it is I get so excited. My husband one time, he's like, why do you get so excited about what happened with them? I was like, you don't understand how they came to me. You don't
right.
understand how they were focused on that one negative thing that's all they couldn't see anything
Mm-hmm.
beyond that. And once we were able to shift and work with that thing, then it's like their whole world opened up. And it's
Yeah.
a beautiful thing to see.
I like that. I like that what you said. We need to take note that she said you already have. It's already in you. You know, but
Hmm.
you're so focused on that thing that we've been probably holding and harboring in. Once that you break free from that, you're like, I'm good at it. You know, let's go.
Yes, ma'am.
So tell us a little bit about your book, Teresa. 'Cause I know you're an author, and tell I want you, she has the book, y'all. I want you to show the book so they can go check it out and go get it. I love me some authors. I think Shabri, I saw Shabri came in. Thank you for coming in, Shabri. Shabri's an author too. I had her on the Lady Ball show. But tell us a little bit about your book, Teresa. Anyone interested in purchasing it?
So my book is called Attacked in Anger, Died in Love: How the Hurts of Your Past Can Propel Rather Than Hinder You. It is
Mm-hmm.
based on my personal story of everything we just talked about, and
Mm-hmm.
how I went from a place of shame and blame to learning how I could use the things that I learned about myself in that place
Mm-hmm.
to propel me to
Mm-hmm.
stand on them instead of being in it. So if you watch me, that's one of the things I say all the time. Instead of being in the hurt, we learn how to stand on them and
Mm-hmm.
allow them to propel us. So the book is my story. And the reason I chose Attacked in Anger, Died in Love, that is really
Mm-hmm.
the love story, the short love story of my mom and dad. And that, of
Oh,
course, is where I came from, right?
yeah.
So because I was holding on to the story of um, my dad being murdered by his best friend and died in my mom's arms. And I
Oh
was
wow.
challenged by my coach. He
Mm-hmm.
said, we tell a good sob story. We can tell a good old sad story. And that was good. I was
Mm-hmm.
good at telling a story that, honey, would break you down, have you crying with me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I be crying as I'm telling the story. So he challenged me to change that into to a positive. He's like, I know it could be difficult, but change it to a positive, a positive outlook. And when
Mm-hmm.
I thought about it, I was like, my dad was attacked in anger, but he died in the love of my mom's arms, right? And that
Wow.
helped me to shift how I was holding on to that and how I looked at that. So
Right.
I don't cry I don't get all emotional when I tell that story anymore, because I shifted the way I looked at that. And that's in
Mm-hmm.
turn how we work to help people shift how they hold on to that negative stuff in their past. We don't tell you to forget it.
Right. Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it's not,
That's
it's part
good.
of your story. So
Mm-hmm.
we're not trying to forget your story. We're trying to look at that and see, there's some negative things in there, but there's also
Mm-hmm.
some good stuff. Like I learned some discernment. I learned
Mm-hmm.
how to
Yes.
I know an abusive person just in some of the mannerisms and the keywords that they say without even learning. It's
Okay.
just, I can pick up on that vibe. I learned that from that situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I learned that I can relate to domestic violence victims in the way that many others can. I have a patience with them that I can't explain. I just do.
Mm-hmm.
With someone who's gone through sexual molestation, I have a patience with them. I have an understanding.
Mm-hmm.
I'm able to talk to them in a way that other people may not be able to. So
Mm-hmm.
those are the things I gained. So I turned all that into helping people,
Right. Right.
right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
And that is what the book is about. So it's on Amazon. You can order it, the ebook or the hard copy. But that is essentially what the book is about. And
Mm.
it's not just a book, it's a lesson. It's a lesson. There's actually work to do at the end of it, questions that are asked
So
of.
it's like a workbook too.
Yeah, there's a workbook as well. I haven't sent the workbook out to everyone, but I did send it out to those who pre-ordered though. The ones who
Oh, okay.
pre-ordered the autograph copy, they got the workbook and the whole nine. But I haven't like
Oh.
did the mass production of the workbook.
Okay, because I didn't know. I'm about to say I didn't know it was a workbook because I know you posted how it got recognition. As like as soon as
Yes.
it got released, her book got recognition. Okay,
Yeah, so
so
it is a best-selling
mhm.
international. um I can't even say it right?
It's okay.
Look, let me read. Number one best-selling international. Oh my God.
Kudos to you,
Right.
Teresa. That
Thank
that is
you.
awesome. And then everybody wants, as soon as you work on something, you produce something, and then when it gets an award or achievement, that is nice. All that's just going to be a step. So what I tell you earlier, I said I thought it was going to be New York bestseller.
Right.
Speak
We
it,
go, yes. We
speak
can
it
walk
into
right on
existence.
through that door. That's good for me.
I will speak that thing into existence. And
Yes, ma'am.
so, Teresa, I forgot to mention this. If somebody wants to meet with you when they do become your client, do you meet with them weekly, or it all depends on?
So I have different programs, and they're primarily designed in terms of time. So it's a 3-month program, 6-month, 12-month, depending on what you're working on, what goals and what things you have, what's going on with you.
Mm-hmm.
So we talk that initial 30 minutes, that's free. The program itself is a 30-minute session once a week. There are different things involved. So there may be times where we're talking on the phone. It may be a video chat. Sometimes it may be even in person if it's someone local. But
Mm-hmm.
I just have a lot of different ways to help people get through their
Mm-hmm.
stuff and break through it. So it can just be so many things, but it's
Mm-hmm.
good. It works, and if I must say, I'm good at this.
Good.
I'm
You go
good
ahead
at
on. Yeah, especially if you have a passion and God has gifted you in it.
yeah.
Go ahead on. I mean, firsthand experience. This is not
Hmm.
something that you just I just want to do this. No, you're doing this because you know without a shadow of a doubt what it takes.
Absolutely. And it took me some time to get here. It took me working through
Mm-hmm.
all that stuff before I was able to recognize that this is the purpose he has for me. This
Right.
is it. This is it. And that's what I long to do for other
Mm-hmm.
people, is to help them get from up under all that mess and figure out who you are, and get so focused and so clear on your purpose that none of that stuff even matters. Right?
Wow. Yeah. That is the freedom that you said that professor was telling you about.
Yeah, that is the freedom. Exactly. That is the freedom. Because now I can get up and tell my story in front of people without any shame.
Mm-hmm.
You can't talk about me and make me feel bad about my story.
No, it's your story.
It's the truth, baby. When people come to you with the truth, say, yeah, that did happen. However, what's
Mhm.
going on right now is.
The truth is the truth. That's your story. But
Hmm.
it did not end like that. That's the
Right,
main thing.
exactly. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a portion. I say this in the book. That is just something that
Mm-hmm.
happened. That's not your now. That's just something that
Mm.
happened then. So, how long are you going to live your life in that past moment? How long are you going to allow that to control you? Because see,
Mm-hmm.
as long as you're holding on to it, and you haven't forgiven yourself, you haven't forgiven the other person, then it is still eating at you. You still are giving that abuser or whoever that person power over you.
Wow.
Yeah. So you can change that. You can start right now and say that was used to be. That's what
Absolutely.
I used to do, even if it was
Absolutely.
a second ago.
Absolutely. I agree with you.
Hmm.
Go ahead on, Teresa. I feel like this has been Bible studies. I'm very comical, y'all. I take a lot of stuff and put it to the Bible. It do because God represents freedom. He represents freedom and letting go. And once you get free from whatever, you'd be surprised how calm you will be. And you just
Hmm.
like, I'm taking it one day at a time, and you just keep going on instead
Yeah.
of being having it balled up. It can really, really affect you. Just like Teresa said, if it's not taken care of, it can, possibly lead to mental illness, and you don't want that. And
Right.
so Teresa, if anyone interested in contacting you, how can they reach you?
They can schedule a free consultation. It's
Mhm.
bit.ly talk to Teresa. Can I type in here?
I
I
don't
can't.
think you'll show up on your end.
It
I mean,
doesn't.
on this end, I don't think you'll show up.
Oh, okay. Because it allows me to chat, but
Yeah, it,
okay.
it has a private chat, but you can put it in the comments
Okay.
on the Facebook page, or put the link
Okay, I
there.
will. But
Put the
it's
link.
bit.ly talk to Teresa. All of that
Hmm.
is lower is TALK, the number two, capital TERESA. So
Hmm.
we'll write that in, but you can schedule a an individual. You can follow my page at T Strong Speaks on Facebook, and
Hmm.
that gives you everything. You can
Hmm.
go on there and you can find out what classes I have coming up, because I also do workshops in the community. I have some online programs that you can just download and take it at your own course, but it's all geared around you
Hmm.
getting clear on who you are, and then
Mm.
creating some goals that are more aligned with who you are so that you're more likely to do them. Right?
Realistic goes, what we like to say.
Yes, yes. But yeah. I do videos, positive videos all the
Hmm.
time. I love to encourage, I love to give you tips and things and help you look at things in a different way. That's what I love, helping you look at things just a little differently so you can change how you're holding on to stuff.
Well, that's good. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, those of you who watch the replay, I want to thank you for watching the replay, and those that watching us live, thank you. I want to thank Teresa for coming on the Lady Ball Show. I think this whole discussion, in a nutshell, we talk about her personal life, a little bit more about her book, and her business, and how all of it kind of combined together. And I hope that our discussion, that we said something that will cause you to kind of break free, or even reach out to Teresa and contact her and see if her program, her services can assist you in any way. Before we sign off, Teresa, anything else you want to say?
I want to say this. Whatever you're going through, you're getting through it.
Mm,
It's not taking you out. You're getting through it just like everything else. If you're someone who are looking to make a change in your life, start now. Don't keep
hmm.
putting it off. We don't know if tomorrow is promised.
That's
Just
right.
just go ahead and start something now. Doesn't have to be major, but start something now to um to encourage yourself. To encourage yourself. And as always, what like I say all the time, start being good to you just like you're good to everybody else. Start being good to you.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Then you can
Yeah,
be good to others.
yeah. That she just spoke life into your life. Okay, everyone. Thank y'all for watching the Lady Ball Show. Our topic is childhood trauma and overcoming childhood trauma. I hope you join us next time on the Lady Ball Show. Smooches, everybody.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome, Teresa.